Such a pleasure to speak with you and to just share my passion for helping women. I am a lifelong student of leadership. John Maxwell is one of my very favorite authors, along with really so very many. Most recently, I have been really diving into why women are not moving forward as fast as they can in leadership. And so I've really been studying that, and I wanted to share some things with you. But before we get started, I shared this slide with Nike earlier, so that you would know a little bit about me. Um, oh,
Are you back? Okay.
how's
Please come
that?
back. Okay.
Okay. So I thought I would share a little bit about me. Whenever possible, the beaches just opened again on Thursday from lockdown. I love to walk on this beach. It's a beautiful white sand beach. Um, you know, I give glory to God as well for and incredibly blessed this year through COVID, with the ability to shift and inspire others to continue to look forward and to find the gems that come out of, I guess, the ashes of COVID. I'm a consummate reader. I love to read because I think I have so much to learn. Um, about a decade ago, I did worship on Church on the Beach. So I play the guitar, and under the hot sun, we would play worship for visitors. And it was really, really just a wonderful time. This is my partner in business and my partner in life. Tom is a chef, and he has 4 restaurants. Bless his heart, if he has to die in his restaurants with COVID, no matter what, he is committed to continuing to feed the people of Hawaii, and he loves cooking. I have a son who will be 25. He is also locked down in Philadelphia, working from home. And this is also my stepson and my stepdaughter. We were visiting Japan. We love to travel. This is my view from my lanai. I live in an apartment, and this is the morning sun. And we love to cook together, and we love to invite friends and share meals together and just have great conversation and laughter and music. And that's kind of our life. So I hope that you can see where I come from. Okay, so let me see if I can move this forward. So I thought I would put out some favorite quotes on leadership. Peter Drucker, who is one of the masters in leadership, said, really the only way you know you're a leader is if you have somebody following you. If not, it's just a stroll in the park, right? Um, Bill Gates from Microsoft really says that leaders are people who empower others. And one of the things I got really excited about was when Nike told me that her whole focus is really empowering others to also rise up in leadership. That's such a noble cause. Sheryl Sandberg, who is a leader at Facebook, I think has had such a great quote that leadership is the expectation that you can use your voice for good, that you really can make it a better place. And if you haven't had a chance to read her books, they are very empowering. Our Chief Justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just passed away. And I think that she also is really inspiring. She said, fight for the things that you really care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. So it's not so much about the fight as it is about coming together for a great cause. And our own Dale Carnegie, our own founders, people will support a world they help create. So when you empower them and allow them to help create that world together, you have the opportunity and the privilege to lead them. When you think about leadership, this is what leadership traits, these are the traits that really matter the most. So in the chat, would you tell us which of those traits are most meaningful for you, of these 7 traits? Which are the traits that are most meaningful to you? Go ahead and type that in the chat. Thanks, Amaka. Yeah, being honest, integrity, right? Anyone else have a thought? Being compassionate? Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you, Elizabeth. Another says compassion. Yes. Yes. These leadership traits help us make really good decisions when we lead by our core values. There was a study done by, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. There was a study done by Pew Research who said that men and women are equally qualified to lead, right? They're equally qualified. 80% of good leaders could be either men or women. And only 11% of the people that were surveyed said that men are better leaders, and only 7% that said that women are better leaders. What's significant about this, I think, is that as women, we need to know that we are equally qualified. We need to believe that we are equally qualified to lead. Here's some statistics. And here's part of why I'm so interested in helping leaders become the leaders that we need to have in our world. Women make up 50% of our workforce. More women are graduating from college than ever before. 12% go on to get an advanced degree, even more than men. Over 1/3 of the Masters in Business Administration graduates are women. So women are really seeking higher education. And we know from very long-term studies that education is also the way out of poverty, way to change our families for the better. Yet, less than 20% of these women, of these executives in organization are women. So women are 50% of the workforce, but only 20% are in the C-level in an organization. Only 26 of the biggest companies, Fortune 500 companies and Fortune 1000 companies, are women. So only 5% are in those at the highest levels. Women do the same work, but they're paid far less. In fact, they're often paid only 80% on the dollar, 80% of what men get paid. So that really is so striking to me. And when I did my research, what keeps coming up is that while women are recognized as being really good leaders, they somehow miss the key components that are tied to influence and promotion, as well as equal pay. So let me take a look at one more thing for us to take a look at. So I've been studying about how women lead versus what they do as a leader. And I've asked my biggest clients, why aren't you promoting more women? What's holding women back from being considered or even being promoted? And this is what they've told me, is that women need to demonstrate confidence. So Amaka, you talked about that, just go for it, right? Women also tend to put themselves down. They um, they need women need to learn how to take more risks. You know, if you have two people ready for promotion, say you have a man and a woman, and you have to consider whether they would be applying for a promotion, a man would look at the job responsibilities, and even if they didn't qualify but they wanted that position, they're not afraid to apply for that job. And in their mind, they think they're just going to figure it out. When they get the job, they'll figure it out, and they'll find a way to be competent. Women, on the other hand, want to be absolutely perfect, perfectly capable, have all of the credentials and experience before they even apply for the job. And yet, when they get on the job, the woman is probably more capable than the man. So we women, we need to learn how to take more risks. Amaka, you said it perfectly, is we need to, once we decide what we want, we need to just go for it. I think women are better at adjusting, asking for help, and being able to accomplish if we would just believe in ourselves and go for it. Um, Women also in negotiation don't tend to ask, um, and they question their self-worth. So many women are not willing to negotiate salaries. They don't know how, or they've never done it before, or they're afraid. I think fear has a lot to do with it. Um, but negotiation is a skill. So we need to help women learn how to do that. There's a couple of organizations in Hawaii and in the United States that really help women accomplish that. And Nike, what I'll do is in a follow-up email, I'll send you information on that specifically, because I think it's really important if you have women that are applying for positions that they know how to negotiate. Um, and then finally, what my clients tell me is that women need to learn how to communicate to lead. They need to be able to um, have difficult conversations sooner than later. They need to be able to coach for performance. And so that's a skill that needs to be developed to be even more successful. So the things that you're doing in your organization really help women become the best version of themselves. And that's what we do at Dale Carnegie as well. Um, we have a positions statement that talks about, we see people's spark. We see their inherent greatness as trainers. And what we want to do, our lifelong goal in our programs is to bring out the best in them, to help them become aware of their greatness within, and help bring that out so that they can be their best, whether it's for their families, for their jobs, or even for accomplishing goals. I loved your summary, Amaka. You talked about knowing knowing who you want to be, right? It really starts with a vision. Like, who do you want to be able to do the things that you want to do so that you can have the things that you want to have, whatever that is, right? So it starts with a vision. And here's what we know about a vision is if you can put it to paper and begin to envision that by reading it every day, you will begin to become aware of what you need to do to become that person to achieve that vision. You'll become aware of the people that are around you that can help you move forward in that direction. Um, so once you have a vision, set a plan and set a plan with some SMART goals. And SMART goals are S is specific, right? So the more specific the goal, the more likely you are to achieve it. Make sure it's measurable, right? So there's a number attached to it. Make sure it's achievable. You know, ladies, there are lots of goal setters, but there are less goal achievers. And the difference often is the A in the SMART, and that is we often set goals that are just too high. We want to set high goals, but not unachievable goals. So make sure those goals are achievable, and when you achieve them, you can set new goals, right? Make sure those goals are relevant. So R is relevant to your vision, and then put a timetable on it. And when you craft your goals that way, you make them SMART goals, right? You will more likely achieve them than not. Build your confidence. And I love the projects that you're doing. When you volunteer for projects and you have success, you develop your own confidence. You begin to see what you can do, and you begin to move out of your comfort zone to become even more than you already are. Um, I encourage you to find a mentor. Several of you talked about Nike being a mentor. Find a mentor who's going to believe in you, who can give you feedback. Ladies, leadership is not a solo sport. We are not meant to do this alone. We are better together with a mentor that's going to speak truth into your life. I love Nike's passion for leadership. You know, seek out leadership development training that covers things like your presence. I heard you say that earlier, Nike and Amaka, to your executive presence, right? Your emotional intelligence. So that's your awareness of how you impact the world, and how the world impacts you. Um, Work on your problem solving and decision making skills so that you can be confident in that area. Work on soft skills. Several of us said that we want to be compassionate, right? The soft skills are the skills that help us to connect with others, to build trust, to get cooperation. Those are the soft skills. Work on those because, you know, like we said, leadership um, is not, we're not meant to do it alone. A leader is someone who can build a team around them, who can cast a vision and people want to follow it. And those soft skills are the difference between success and not enough success. And then finally, ladies, work on your presentation skills. At some point, the more successful you become, the more you're going to be asked to share your story. So work on that so that you can be really effective and make impact. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded. You know, I don't know what it's like in Ireland, but from our first conversation, Nike, you shared with me about the culture and how it's really hard for women to break out of the just the domestic role to even want to have a career to support your family or to want to start a business. It's really foreign. And in Hawaii, it's no different. I grew up in a very, very average household. Um, Both of my parents had not gone to college. They went to college when I was in high school. They decided to do that, but they had not gone to college. They were very blue collar. And I remember hearing many times, we're not like that. That that kind of life is not for us. And if we surround ourselves with people that only think that way, then it's going to be really hard to be more than you already are. Not that you're better, but if you want more for you and your family, you want to surround yourself with people that can support you and your vision. And the last thing really comes from Dale Carnegie. It's about being intentional. When I looked at your website, I was just, I said it's a God appointment because you live on purpose. You have a purpose. Each of you have that's a member has a purpose for your life. You see it clear and you're following your purpose. So just like that, live on purpose with purpose. And when you do that, the things that you do will not be so hard because you have a reason bigger than yourself to move yourself forward, right? Um, and people want to be around people like you who are living on purpose with purpose. Um, so be bold women who have decided to be even more successful than you already are. Reach out, just like Nike, ask for help because women like us want to help women like you because we're really not meant to do it alone. So thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, um, I'd love to entertain your questions.
Bravo. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
This is one of my discoveries with this COVID lockdown. And I'm not going to get